Awesome. Are there any prolapses it's not recommended for? In my course, they didn't specify that there were certain organs, prolapse organs, that would be contraindications to doing hypopressives. I'm rolling out my butt on a ball, by the way. That's why I look kind of funny. But I have heard from some people that they were told not to do it if they had an enterocele. So I'm curious what you guys think. And if, I should talk to a couple other instructors who do hypopressives. But it was not made clear to me in my course that if you have an enterocele, you should not do hypopressives. I think the thought here is like strangulation of the intestines, not to like freak anybody out. That's just the term that's used. So yeah, I'm curious what you guys think about that, but I was not told that there's a specific one that you cannot do if you have a certain organ prolapse. Yes, they're definitely safe for someone who has hypertonic pelvic floor. So if you're not sure what that means, it means that there's too much tension in the pelvic floor muscles. And doing an exercise like Kegel, so directly contracting, relaxing the pelvic floor as a form of exercise, can increase someone's prolapse symptoms, especially those who already have this baseline of tension. Hypopressives do contract the pelvic floor muscles, but it's not this active contraction. You're not actually contracting your pelvic floor or contracting your abs. The vacuum that you're creating activates the muscles in a way that's a little bit more gentle, a little bit more passive, and is likely not going to increase your hypertonic pelvic floor symptoms. I really don't see any downside or risks for people with prolapse to be doing hypopressives. I would say my only suggestion is that the hypopressive poses and things like that are not like functional exercise. So you're not going to be learning how to squat properly. You're not going to be learning how to, manage pressure when you're carrying an object or something like that. These can be incorporated, hypopressives can be incorporated into those types of moves, but the basic ones are more just getting the correct procedures down. And I would just say if you're sticking with just these, 8 exercises that I'm teaching in my course, I wouldn't stay there forever. You want to take those concepts and then apply them to functional exercise or feel confident in your body and reduce symptoms enough that you're ready to work on more strengthening stuff. That would be the only thing. My personal favorite pose is Demeter, which is the one where you're lying on your back. I just can create the most suction in that position and create the best lift of my pelvic floor and my organs. So we start in a standing position with the different poses, and then we work our way down to the floor, and we end in Demeter at the very end, but that one is my favorite. I love this question because it always comes down to, do I need an in-person trainer or can I learn this virtually? So I always keep this stuff in mind because I'm very much an in-person learner. So what I did is we don't just jump right into, hey, here's the pose, this is what you're trying to do. The majority of the hypopressives content is actually teaching you how to do it. Then we actually do it. So you're going to learn about the benefits of it, and you're going to visually see, I have anatomy images of what we're doing and why it's happening so that you can wrap your head around what's supposed to be happening with your body and how it's going to impact your pelvic floor and your pelvic organs. And then we go into the breathing strategies, so how long you should be inhaling, how long you should be exhaling. We practice this. We practice the breath holding component, and then there's all these different principles that are applied to every single pose. So where your feet are positioned, how your knees are positioned. There are also some wonderful tests and assessments that I would be doing on you in person if I were teaching you how to do hypopressives, to see how you're managing pressure in your system first. And I teach you how to do a self-assessment and encourage you to take a video and save it, and then track your progress basically that way. And it's really good to see it on my body, know what's normal, know what's not, and then record yourself and see what your body is doing and if it looks the same or if it looks different. So, and then when we actually get into the poses, I am performing them, and then voice recorded over it, and I'm constantly reminding you, inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 2, time for the apnea, here's where your arms should be, make sure your elbows are reaching away from each other, hands are put, all of that. I'm constantly providing this feedback for you because there's so many things to be thinking about when you're in a particular pose. And it's going to take practice for your body to figure it out, but I'm there with you the whole time, reminding you of what you should. You might physically feel a lift of your organs, you might not. For me, I only feel it in certain positions.